we already learned and what significant breakthroughs have we made in our shared family tree that have been long-standing? This is a brief sketch of just a portion of Gilbert's ancestry. His parents, Rosalind Jane Richmond, his grandparents on the paternal side, Jesse Belnap and Eunice Hall. We've never really known who Eunice, well, let me step back here. On Jesse Belnap, we've never really known for sure if Jesse Belnap, spelled without the K, born in 1760, was indeed the son of Jesse Belnap, born in 1739, who spelled his name in the old way, the original way, with the K. It's a silent K, not Belknap. It's Belnap, but with Belnap with a K. The reason why, there were two generations of men named Jesse, a father and a son. Both father and son married women named Eunice. Both served in the American Revolution. The first Jesse, born in 1739, lost his first wife Eunice and remarried a woman named Deborah Hathaway. And his first son by his second wife, he also named Jesse. And our Jesse, the first son of the first wife, changed the spelling of his name. We believe he dropped the K, the silent K, reportedly to distinguish himself from his father and or his half-brother, also named Jesse, who kept the K. Now, to make the mystery even more difficult, the court records where Jesse Belnap with the K in 1739 was living in Castleton, Rutland, Vermont were destroyed. And the records where Jesse Belnap, born in 1760, was born in Hebron, Tolling County, Connecticut, were destroyed. And where he married in Reading, Fairfield, Connecticut, were burned. Hiram Belnap, my great-grandfather, on a genealogy mission in 1908, went to New England and tried to find everything he could find about Jesse, the father, and Jesse, these two sons. And in light of no conflicting evidence, no evidence to the contrary, he concluded, without documentary evidence, that Jesse Belnap, born in 1760, was indeed the son of a man named Jesse, born in 1739, whose mother was Eunice. But we've never known for sure until today. We have confirmed it definitively through the process of triangulation by testing and comparing the examples of the 48 great-grandchildren, other descendants of Rosalind Jane, who we are in touch with, other descendants of Jesse Belnap and Eunice Hall, who we are in touch with, and some descendants of Jesse Belnap further back, born in 1739, that indeed Jesse, born in 1760, is the biological son of the Jesse Belnap, born in 1739. In other words, by testing people living today, and without having to exhume a body, find the remains, by testing the science in each cell of our body, through the science of DNA, we have been able to confirm a genealogical story, mystery, going back nearly 300 years. It continues. There is another mystery on our family tree. It was the parentage of Eunice Hall. If you go to Family Search, the family tree and Family Search, there is a lot of erroneous information. We try to correct it, and people mean well, but they kind of don't know what they're doing. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. And, but they say that Eunice Hall was the daughter of this guy named Eliezer Hall and a woman named Mary Lake, and we've disproven it a bazillion times. But nobody's really been able to confirm for sure. Well, let me tell you, through the science of DNA, through these 48 descendants, great-grandchildren of Gilbert Belnap, thank you, Ron, and others, and a number of other people who I have never met before, who are way down in Georgia, descended through a man named Juniper Hall, who left New England right after the American Revolution and obtained a land grant in the South. We have definitively confirmed, and I am excited to announce to you today that indeed Eunice Hall has parents. We know who they are. And not only do we know who Eunice Hall's parents are, but we also know that she We also know all of her grandparents, paternal and maternal grandparents, and further back. So in other words, we have now made a breakthrough that has never been known until now on the lineage, on the parentage, on the ancestry of Eunice Hall. In addition, applause. I mean, seriously. In addition, we are making breakthroughs now and making some extraordinary matches on Jesse Belnap's wife, Eunice, who, confusingly, could also be surnamed either, you get this, I'm not joking, the science is a science. Her surname could also be Hall. Or she's a woman named Eunice Slauson, the daughter of an Isaac, and we are now doing some major research on that. We are making some great breakthroughs. In addition, on autosomal DNA, we are researching the Richmonds, the McBrides. Remember, Daniel McBride is the shared grandfather of both Adeline and Henrietta. They were the first cousins to each other. We know that Samuel McBride, the last person on the McBride line, who was born about 1740 in Ireland, one of the battles of Saratoga during the American Revolution was actually fought on his farm. And we are now making some very interesting connections through his wife, Margaret Brown, to a Brown family that were also Scotch-Irish people who had gone further south in the American colonies. And as we are testing and comparing results with more and more people on shared centimores, we are making breakthroughs at a rate now that is coming so fast that little me, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a DNA expert, I'm kind of an informed amateur enough to talk to the experts to be advised. We are making breakthroughs that we're having difficulty keeping up. The information is flooding in. We've also done Y chromosome tests for the Belnap, spelled with the K line further back, the Knight line, and the McBride line, the direct male lines. I found a descendant who was working in my office building, Jess Knight, who is a direct father-to-son descendant of Vincent Knight through their son James Vincent Knight. He's taken the Y chromosome test. We're now making matches to other males who are on the Knight line. We've never questioned the parentage of Jess or us descending from Vincent Knight, but we're providing assistance to other people who haven't known their lineage. We've done the same thing with another fellow church employee at the church office building named Matthew McBride, whose photo I don't have here, who's also taken the DNA test, and that's making some great breakthroughs. What we have determined is that the McBrides are not Irish as in Catholic Irish. They are Scots-Irish. They were people who probably came from the Midlands, or the lowlands of Scotland, sometime in the late 1600s or 700s to what is today Northern Ireland, to Ulster County. They were there for a period of time. They were restless people, they were poor people, they eventually made their way to the New World, to upstate New York, to Appalachia, to those parts of the United States. We are matching with all sorts of people now in Scotland. We're also doing mitochondrial DNA research on Adeline Knight and Henrietta McBride. I need to find a woman who is a daughter of 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 Henrietta. So we can do a mitochondrial DNA test. We have not found her yet, but somebody who's willing to take that test. And again, they're not cheap, but it's just getting a swab or some spit. It's really easy. We have found one person, where's Neil Stoker, who is a son of a daughter of a daughter of a daughter of a daughter of Adeline Knight. And so we now know Adeline Knight's mitochondrial DNA lineage. And then to be really weird and not to freak you out on what you can do, but now there's a company here in Salt Lake City that does basically CSI family search. They will do genetic testing on people who are long dead if you have a sample of DNA, a tooth, a sample of hair. I own a sample of hair of a grandchild of Gilbert Belnap. If I get this tested, it's about $2,000. We will have more information than we have ever had on confirming the lineage both autosomally and Y chromosome and mitochondrially of a grandchild of Gilbert Belnap in a way that we have never known before. Stay tuned. So let me review with you some past special projects very quickly. In 1997, as you know, we celebrated the John McBride Belnap event during the Mormon Trail Pioneer Sesquicentennial. We erected a monument in Ashland, Nebraska, and had a tool chest that was made. that was handcrafted after one that was owned by Heber C. Kimball, who Martha McBride Knight had been sealed to, and the quarters had a small boy who was buried. The original tool chest obviously was used to bury John McBride Belnap, who was buried on the banks of the Salt Creek River in Nebraska. This was a big event. This event caught the attention of the people of Iowa and Nebraska, people along the Mormon Trail during 1997, that celebratory year, here in Utah as well, and nationally. When the McBride tool chest, after traveling across, the John McBride Belnap tool chest was brought across the plains by the South Wagon Train, mostly non-Latter-day Saints who were also honoring the Mormon pioneers. When they brought it to Utah, they arrived just above us here at the top of Immigration Canyon. And they brought the tool chest to the fireside that's held every year in Ogden near Pioneer Day. It was at the D Events Center. There were 11,000 people there. The John McBride Belnap tool chest was brought in. His story was briefly told. 11,000 people stood up and applauded John McBride Belnap. This woman, Pat Haley, was holding a little piece of paper. Some 50,000 copies of the piece of paper were passed out on the Mormon Trail explaining the story, the life story of John McBride Belnap, who lived only 13 months. 2 days later, on July 22nd, the John McBride Belnap was brought into a crowd here at the mouth of Immigration Canyon. This is the place, Heritage Park. President Hinckley was in attendance, many other dignitaries, the governor of Utah, the mayor of Salt Lake City, and again, 50,000 people were there, and the John McBride Belnap tool chest was brought in. On July 23rd at Fort Buenaventura in Ogden, we held a special celebration honoring the members of the South Wagon Trail or Oxbow Trail Wagon Train for bringing the tool chest to Utah and honoring John McBride Belnap in such a remarkable way. We made all of them honorary members of the Belnap family organization. And then the next morning, on July 24th, 1997, in Ogden's Pioneer Day Parade, the tool chest was marched down Washington Boulevard to City Hall, where that plaque right there was issued by the mayor of Ogden, and then the tool chest was put on display in the Weber County Daughters of Utah Pioneer Museum for a number of months. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, cousins, there's the John McBride tool chest that's back here for the first time in 23 years, having crossed the plains. That serves as our context. In 2017, we rededicated the base of the family monument and all of the graves in Ogden City Cemetery, the Belnap family. And now to what is upcoming and the end of my presentation. In 2026, what's called the semi-quincentennial year, that's half of 500, the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, we are wanting to memorialize the life of Jesse Belnap, who fought in the American Revolution. You know that this boy born in 1760 and 1777 as a 17-year-old boy joined a company of soldiers as an artificer, a fancy word for somebody who was involved in blacksmithing, and helped make the chain that was stretched across the Hudson River from West Point to the other side to stop the British who had captured New York City, our former home, from sailing up the Hudson and splitting New England off from the rest of the colonies and thereby retaking the American colonies. Those are the last remaining pieces of chain that are still there at West Point. Later on, in his pension application in 1832, Jesse Belnap signed an affidavit saying, yeah, I was involved. The family lore takes it a little bit further. Not only did he help make the chain, he was the individual who took a piece of small rope, swam across the Hudson River so that he could pull that rope. They had a larger rope. They had a larger rope that then had the chain that was stretched across, placed on barges to block the British. That is our ancestor, Gilbert Belknap's paternal grandfather. A number of members of our family and others descended from Jesse Belnap have joined the Daughters and the Sons of the American Revolution. This is his will, actually, from 1852. He lived to be 94 years of age. In 1967, one of my cousins, Tim Belnap, visited the headstones of Jesse Belnap and his wife, Eunice Hall, who we now know the parentage of through DNA. In 1991, my wife and I, as we were driving across country after we had gotten married, we were returning to New York City, and this is what the headstones looked like then. Eunice's had fallen in the ground. I have not been back for the last 33 years, but we are now in touch with the sexton of the Phillips Cemetery in a little town called Northeast in Erie County, Pennsylvania, and are working with the sons and daughters of the American Revolution local chapters and also some leaders, local leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ. And our current plan is to erect a monument similar to the one that we erected in 1997 honoring John McBride Belnap, 5 feet high, 2.5 feet wide, 8 inches thick of granite. On one side, telling the story of Jesse's family, his 15 children, and on the back side, honoring his American Revolutionary War service. I would ask you, family members, to please consider becoming involved. In 2 years, America celebrates its 250th birthday. Let's do something as descendants of Jesse Belnap, grandfather Gilbert Belnap, who fought in the American Revolution, to honor him. And by the way, Susie, yeah, the artist. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. We've got to talk. Your family member actually confirmed some research for all this. We are all eligible to become members of the Sons or the Daughters of the American Revolution, if that is your thing. In 2026, if we're able to raise the money, we will erect the monument. We will have a special ceremony with the Colonial Drum and Fife Corps. We will dedicate and honor Jesse Belnap and his family, and unite with other descendants who never came west as Mormon pioneers, who are still back east, and do it all together as a family. So please join me, if you would, in 2026. Hope to see you there. Thank you.